Welcome back to Mac Talks Football. The international break is still going on, and the club football is not happening. A lot of stuff is happening during the international week. World Cup qualifiers going on, and a lot of controversies are happening there as well. I'm gonna do a video when the international football is completely finished to see how the World Cup qualifiers have gone for the Asian qualifiers and the South American qualifiers as well. Both of them are happening at the same time. There is UEFA Nations League going on as well, so we are going to talk about all of that in that one separate video I'm going to do for it because it's too much international football. But in this video I'm going to concentrate and come back to club football, and I'm going to concentrate on the Bundesliga. I did this, I am going to do it throughout the year. I did this at the end of August as well, and I'm going to do it now as September has finished as well, where I am going to track every team's performance and position month by month, and we're going to see how they did during that month and whether they went forward or backward in their positions, and we're gonna keep comparing them to the original predictions that I made at the start of this season. So without further ado, let's get into it. At number 18th, I went with St. Pauli. I thought that their manager Husler had gone. Their score was not really good enough, so I thought that they were gonna finish 18th. At the end of August they were 18th as well, but right now their position has changed. And before I tell your position, the game is like, the thing is, I need to make sure that I accumulate as low as less points as possible. The higher the number of points I achieve, the worse I would do. So for example, let's say I predict St. Pauli to finish 18th, and if they are 18th, 17th, 16th like that, and I accumulate 1 point or 2 points, that is a very good thing for me. But if they are on, like, let's say 7 or 6, and they are so far off, and I calculate like accumulate 8 10 points, something like that, then that's bad for me. So I need to accumulate as less points as possible. So with that said, like as I said, they were 18th at the end of August as well, but right now their position is changed. They are at 15th position. They have gone out of the relegation zone. They are in a safe position at the moment. It means I have gathered 3 points at the start. In a way, it is a good thing because the 3 points are not that much, and then St. Pauli, for them to go out of the relegation zone and be in a better position, I think it's good for the club. They played 4 matches in the month of September, plus the first game week of October. 4 games were played. They lost the first game against Augsburg, and then they lost against Mainz on last match day. But in the middle, they had that big draw against RB Leipzig, and that huge win, their first win of the season against Freiburg, that got them those 4 points, and that is why they are on 15th. This season is I think it is now looking better as compared at the end of August, and I think now the next month is going to be crucial. So we're going to see how they do at the end of November. Number 17, I went for Holstein Kiel at the start of the season. That was my prediction, that they were gonna finish as 17th. At the end of August, they were 16th, so they were doing a place better than what I predicted. But right now they are back to 17th, so that is like at the moment the most accurate prediction that I have made. I predicted them to finish 17th. They are 17th at the moment, and the month of October has the month of September has not been really good for them. They lost that a big defeat against Bayern Munich 6-1. They lost against Frankfurt 4-2 as well, but they have had a couple of draws in between those games. They drew 2-2 against Bochum, and then they last weekend drew 2-2 against Leverkusen, I think, which was a big point for them. They are still winless in the league, so that is a bit concerning, and the things are not really looking that good for Holstein Kiel. So they would hope that after the international break they can go out and do something better. But at the moment they are 17, and that is like a perfect prediction. So no points again for me as well. Up to number 16, I went with FSV Mainz. I thought their score was not really good enough, so I thought they were gonna struggle this season, but they have proven me quite wrong, if I'm being very honest. At the end of August they were 12th, so they were doing 4 points better than what I predicted. And now at the end of September, early October, they are currently at number 10, so that is like 6 points gained. They are 6 points better than what I predicted. in the month of October they played 4 games, they lost twice, they won twice. So it was sort of a mix, a mix sort of a month for them. Their performances have been quite good, and I think the way that they are playing, I think they might overachieve than what I predicted at the start of the season. And at the moment, as I already said, they are doing really good, and I think it is gonna get better. 6 points again for me as well. Up to number 15th, I went for Bochum. I thought this was gonna be a better season as compared to last year for them. Last year they finished 16. That was a relegation, a promotion, a playoff. So I thought this year might be a bit better for them, but it is not looking likely that. Last month they were at 17th, and now this month they have gone even further down. They are right at the bottom at 18. So that's like 3 places below than what I predicted. So another 3 points again for me. In terms of their performances, they played 4 games and they have lost 3 of them, and the only point that they have gained this season was against that draw in the game against the Holstein. Apart from that, they have been really poor. They have lost 5. They are on one of the 2 teams along with Holstein who have not won a single game this season, and it's looking really bad for Bochum. So I don't really at the moment. I think they are quite favorites for favorites to go down to Bundesliga 2. So we'll see how their next month pans out, and in what position they are going to be when we do this video at the end of October. At number 14th, I predicted Wolfsburg to finish at number 14th. But last month they were doing really well as compared to my prediction. They were 7th at the end of August, but now they have dropped down to 12th at the end of October. They are currently 12th in the table. The month of September plus October's first game week has not been really that good. They have lost twice. They lost against Frankfurt and Leverkusen right at the end, 4-3. That was quite a close game. They drew against Stuttgart as well. They won their last game against Holstein. So that was very important for them to get those 3 points. But they still, as I said, it has been sort of a drop from their early start of the season. From 7th, they have dropped to 12th. For me, it is just a 2 points gain, so it is now basically turning out to be a good position. I have always said that the prediction from 8 to 14 15, that is like the really hardest of the hardest one to predict, because there are so many teams in that mid-table. Any team can go anywhere, but at the moment Wolfsburg are 12th. I predicted them to finish 14, so I would take that. I like anything less than 5 points is a very good a good thing for me. At number 13, I went with Union Berlin. I just felt that this season was going to be sort of a transitional season for them, and the expectations that the fans have had and the performances that the club has given for the last 2-3 years, I just thought this year was not they were not going to live up to that. This was just going to be their transitional year, and then they are going to go back to their to the supposed glory days from next season. But to be very honest with you, I have been proven wrong till now. Last season, last month they were at 5th, and now this month they are 6th. So they are right at the top. They are fighting for those European places, trying to get back into the Champions League. So their season has been really good, and this is now last time also they were one of like my worst predictions, and this month again they are continuing like that. Is like almost 7 points again. I just said that anything less than 5 is going to be very good, so anything above 5 is a bad prediction. And Union Berlin are like one of the first team that I would counter as a bad prediction at the moment. I don't know where they will finish, but the way they are playing, I don't think they are going to be that so down where I predicted them to be. Their month of September and October, it was sort of a mixed bag. They lost against Mönchengladbach, but they won against Dortmund. They won against Hoffenheim as well. They drew against Leipzig. So it was sort of, I would say it was a good month. They got 7 points out of a possible 12. They just lost against Mönchengladbach. That was a shock defeat in my if I'm being very honest with you, because I really did not think that they were going to lose that game. So I think they are looking really good. They are in the trajectory that they are going with. It is really good, and I seriously think that they are going to be one of those teams in which my prediction is going to be quite wrong. At number 12, I went with Wonder of Women. I just thought this was going to be the season where they finish mid-table. Nothing really fancy about it. Their business has been okayish, I said in my prediction video, and sort of they are sort of living up to my expectations. Last month they were 13. They were a point, they were a place behind where I predicted. This month they are at 11th. They are just a place above where I predicted. So in a way, this prediction is really turning out to be quite accurate, if I'm being very honest with you. The month was a mixed bag, if I'm being honest. They had that a big defeat against Bayern Munich, a 5-0. They lost 2 games in that month. They just won once. So it has been not that good of a month for them, and I think they are gonna have this season where they lose 2 games and then they go win 1 game and they draw, or sometimes they're gonna win 2 games in a month. So it's gonna be that sort of a season, and I am like pretty certain they are gonna be in that mid-table. They are not gonna, their score is not that bad that they will be in relegation, and their score is not really that good when they are gonna a challenge for those European places. So for them, mid-table is the perfect position. I went with 12. They are currently 11, so just a point gain, so I'm really happy with that. Moving on to number 11th, I went with Borussia Mönchengladbach. I thought they had one of the better transfer windows as compared to other teams in that mid-table tussle, so that's why I predicted them to finish 11th. At the end of August, they were at 6. They were doing really good. They were like 5 points, 5 places above where I predicted them to be. But right now it has been a big drop this month. From 6 they have dropped down to 14th. The 8 places are dropped in just 1 month. But the thing is, they have lost 3 games in this month. They just won against Union Berlin. Apart from that, there have been 3 defeats, and the performances have been really bad as well. And I think they really need to do something if they don't really want to drop down further, because at the moment it's not looking really good for Gladbach. For me, I gained another 3 points. I would still take that, as from last time I got 6 points because of that. So this time it's just 3. So it's better for me, but it's not better for Gladbach. As I said, 8 places dropped in just 1 month. So they really need to buckle up and get their act together if they don't really want to get involved at relegation battle. At number 10, I went with Heidenheim. The last month they were at number 1. When we went to the international break, they were looking really good. So that was like a big points gained by me. But I said at that time that it is really early on and we are going to see an eventual drop. And unfortunately for them, it has come just 1 month later. They are currently at 9. So that is like 1 place above where I predicted them to be. So it's a really good thing for me. I just gained 1 point. Their performances at this month, in a way that they have had tough matches, if I'm being very honest. They lost to Dortmund, they lost to Freiburg, they lost to RB Leipzig, and all of those teams are really their scores are much better and their positions are much better as compared to Heidenheim. So you sort of, especially that against Dortmund and RB Leipzig, like it was in a way quite certain the predictions were against them. That game against Freiburg, I think that is the one where Heidenheim would be a bit disappointed that they really did not play to their potential. And then they won against Mainz in that red card thriller, if I'm being very honest. So at the moment it's a big drop, but you sort of expected this drop. So I don't think they would really mind that. They are 9th at the moment, and if they finish 9th, I think they would consider this a really good season. At number 9, I went with Hoffenheim, and their season has not been really that good. Last time around they were 11, just 2 places behind where I predicted them to finish. But this month it has been quite a disaster in the Bundesliga, if I'm being very honest with you. They are currently at 16th. That is a relegation, a promotion, a playoff. That is not a place where a lot of people expected them to be. Like we expected for them to have a drop off because they are in the Europa League. They have been really good in the Europa League. They have won one of their games and they have drawn. They are still undefeated in that. But if you come to the in the league, they are out of the 4 games that they have played since the last international break, they have lost 3 of them, and they have just drawn 1. That was their last game against Stuttgart, and I think Stuttgart would be really angry at themselves that they did not get all 3 points in that game. So that just shows how much of a drop that Hoffenheim are experiencing and the effect that they are having because of playing in the Europa League. It is going to be interesting to see how they cope with all of that going into the season. If that is Europe, playing in the Europa League is going to be a hindrance to them, Yeah, it was expected them for them to have a drop like, but a drop like that was not expected to. So it will be interesting. This is like the biggest points I have gained. I predicted them to finish ninth. They are 16th at the moment, so that is like 7 points gained. So it is not a good prediction at the moment, but we'll see what happens in the future. But right now, 7 points gained. At number 8, I went with Freiburg. I just thought they with no European competition and the summer transfer window that they had and the squad that they had. I thought they were going to be in contention for fighting for those European places. They were going to be really good, and their performances have been quite exceptional. If I'm being very honest, they were 10th at the end of last month, but this month has been really good for them. They have climbed 6 places and they are currently at number 4 in those Champions League places, and they're looking really good. They played 4 games in the month. They won 3 of them. They defeated Werder Bremen, they defeated Heidenheim, they defeated Bochum, and the thing that surprises a lot of us was that shock defeat. The only one that they had this month was against St. Pauli. Nobody really thought that Freiburg were gonna lose. I think if I'm not wrong, I went with a 4-0 win for Freiburg, but St. Pauli just came in and they won a 3-0 that day. So that was a shock defeat for them. Apart from that, they are looking really good, and right now I think they are looking really good to get into that Champions League places. They are 4 at the moment. We'll see how long that is going to last, how they can compete with the teams around them, but at the moment they are looking really good. I get only 4 points. I predicted them to finish at 8. They are 4th at the moment, so 4 points again for me. Not a bad prediction at the moment, and if I'm being very honest, I just don't think they are gonna qualify. I think they will drop, but not that much. I think they might get into the Europa League or Conference League, but you never know. At the moment, looking really good for Freiburg. At number 7, I went with Augsburg, but it has not really worked out. Last month they were 15th, and now they are 13th. They are 6 places below where I predicted them to finish. But in a way, they have climbed to places from last month, so that is like a good thing for them. The trajectory is upwards, not downwards, so that is always a good thing. They played 4 games last month. They won twice, they lost twice, and the performances in all of those games were not that good, not that bad, bad. I'm not really sure that they are gonna get into those close to those European places. I think this is one of my prediction which might end up being quite wrong. At the moment they are 13, but I'm not I think they are gonna finish in that top 10, but will they finish at 7th? I really don't think so at the moment with the way they are performing right now. I get 6 points, and I think that is like the second highest. I have the second highest number of points that I've gotten, but we'll see how what happens in the future. At the moment, not looking really good for Augsburg. Number 6, I went with Frankfurt, but they have been really amazing. They were 8th at the end of last month, but right now it has been an amazing month for them. They are currently 3rd in the Bundesliga, and if I'm being very honest, they could have easily been at the top. The way they are playing, they have been undefeated. They have played 6 games, 4 in the Bundesliga, 2 in the Europa League, and they have basically they drew against Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Apart from that, they have won all 3 games in the Bundesliga, and then in the Europa League they drew their first game, but their second game they won that as well. So they are looking really good at the moment. That duo up front, Mamush and Akiteki, like they have been brilliant. I think if I have to choose, I said this a couple of weeks ago, I said this last week ago, if I had to choose a striking duo at the moment in Europe, I would choose Akiteki and Mamush. The way both of them are playing, it has been absolutely phenomenal. Both of them look really good, and I think Harry Kane as a big competitor for that Golden Boot. All the strikers in the Bundesliga, I think Mamush is gonna be right up top, and I think Frankfurt are gonna be really thrown in a lot of people's eyes the way that they are playing. I really thought that they were gonna have a drop from last year, but I think instead of having a drop, I think they might go ahead and really become a problem and might end up challenging for the title with whoever is there at the top. They are looking really good, and I'm so impressed by Frankfurt. I get 3 points, but regardless, it has been an amazing performance and a great month. And if they continue this for the next couple of months, who knows where they are gonna be come the Christmas period. So at the moment, Frankfurt doing really good. At number 5, I went with Stuttgart. They were 14th at the end of last month, but they have climbed up the ladder. They are currently at 8th in the table, so that is like 3 points again for me, because as I said, I predicted them to finish at 5th. The start of the month was quite good. They won 3-1 against Gladbach. Then there was the thumping of Borussia Dortmund 5-1. That was a great result for them, and it will look like the Stuttgart are gonna climb up right at the top, but then they go ahead and they draw against Wolfsburg. They draw against Hoffenheim. So the start was good, but they sort of then went down. But again, they it has they remained undefeated in the league this month. So that is gonna count for something. And as I said, they were 14th last month, so they have climbed up 6 places to 8, and their performances have been really good. So it is looking really good. And as I said, that trajectory is upward, so it's always a good sign for any club. And it's still early days in the season. You never know what at the end of next month they might be in this top 4, top 5. So at the moment it's looking good for Stuttgart, and the fans should be really happy with their performances. At number 4, I went with RB Leipzig. Last month they were at third. This month they are second, so they are doing really good. They started the month with a couple of draws. That was quite surprising. They drew against St. Pauli and Union Berlin. Union Berlin was sort of understandable, but that St. Pauli draw was quite surprising. But they have ended the month with a couple of wins against Augsburg and then Heidenheim. So they are back to winning ways, and they would hope that it continues when they come back after the international break. They are second, just behind Bayern Munich. So they are 2 points, 2 places ahead where I predicted them to finish. So it is sort of looking good for them. They are having a good season in the Champions League as well. So it all in all a really good progress from Bayern Munich. Again, they were third, they are now second, so it's again an upward trajectory. So that is very important. So yeah, great month for RB Leipzig. We'll see what happens at the end of next month. At number 3, I went with Bayern Munich. I really did not think that they were gonna win the title, because I was not really convinced with Vincent Kompany. And if I'm being very honest, I'm still not convinced with Vincent Kompany. The last month they were a second, and now they are first. They are at the top of the table. But the thing is, I'm still I'm still skeptical. Their performances have not really that impressed me. They started the month really good. They defeated Holstein Kiel 6-1. They defeated Werder Bremen 5-1. But then came those 2 important games. They drew against Leverkusen, the game they should have won, if I'm being very honest. Then they drew at 3-3 against Frankfurt. So 2 competent oppositions where you would the ones that can really go ahead and challenge them for the title, and they have not been able to defeat them. And the team the past teams of Bayern, they would have easily won that Leverkusen game, and they would have done something to get the rabbit out of the hat and somehow win the game against Frankfurt. But this team, as I said, I'm still skeptical. It's not like they are outright favorites at the moment. They are not that far, at a couple of points difference between them and the teams at second, third, fourth. So it's not that special at the moment, but they are top, so fair play to them. They are looking good as well. So we'll see what happens at the next. I get 2 points. As I said, I predicted them to finish third. They are first, so 2 points gain for me. Still a good prediction, and it is looking really good for me in the table. But we'll see, because the next 2 predictions have really fucked me up, if I'm being very honest with me. At number 2, I went with Borussia Dortmund, but their season has not really gone according to plan. They were 4th at the end of last month, and currently they are 7th. They started the month with a win over Heidenheim. Then they got thrashed 5-1 by Stuttgart. They won against Bochum 4-2, but their performances in that game was not really there. They went 2-0 down and somehow ended up winning a 4-2 because of Bochum's inexperience and the star power that Borussia Dortmund somehow had. That got them over the line. And then again last weekend they lost again to Union Berlin. So Dortmund's performances have been not really good, and I think if I'm being very honest, they deserve to be at a 7, because the other teams around them have been really good, and they have played a better football than them. Nuri Sahin has not really lived up to my expectations, if I'm being very honest. And again, they were 4th last month. They are now 7th, so they are going down. It's not looking really good. So we're going to see what happens next month, but at the moment they are not doing really good. And of course, at number 1, I went with Bayer Leverkusen. I thought they were gonna defend their title. Will they do it? It is still quite early, but their performances are okay. If I'm being very honest with you, they were eighth at the end of last month. Now they are fifth. They are undefeated. They were undefeated in the Bundesliga this season. They won twice, they drew twice, including a dead draw against Bayern Munich. So they are sort of, coming back. They have lost that undefeated streak as well, that they had for over a year. So that is gonna play into their minds as well. But as of now, they are still in the game. So you really don't know what is gonna happen. All in all, I gained like 4 points because of that. And if my and if my calculations are all correct, and if I'm being, I think I gained almost around 60 to 64 points, which is quite better than last month, because that was in the 70s. I think that was 71 points in the month of August. So I think it is 62 points in the month of September. So that is 9 points better. It is getting down. I would be really happy if it is less than 50 in the 40s, or if at the end of the season, I'll be really happy with that. But yeah, that is it. This was my prediction review. A prediction. What you want to say? At the look at the end of the month, I'm gonna do it every at the end of every month. So that is there were a prediction review for the end of the monthly prediction review. That is it. Like I cannot form words at the moment. My monthly prediction review, that is it from this video. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions. Do you think I'm gonna be I'm gonna be able to get all my predictions right, or are they gonna be wrong? And how is your club doing on the monthly basis? Did they did they do better than last month, or what they was? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 400 subscribers before the end of October. So I know it is a tough task, but we hope we are able to achieve it. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.